Episode 55J. Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, CRAWSEpresidents.wordpress.com for PDFs of articles with URLs to search on, and on the website are links to 10-minute TikTok and YouTube videos and 30-minute podcasts on Spotify and Podbean. Episode 55J through P. March 11, 2023. The Afterthought Issue: Carbon Capture from a New York City 30-story apartment building and giant outdoor air purifiers, called smog towers, in India. RAWSEP believes it is better to stop carbon emissions in the first place, rather than carbon capture as an afterthought. 2 framing devices, or personal observations, for this episode. 1. Non-polluting residential home heating. Does it need a backup, or is this new technology, heat pumps, reliable? The short-term bridge or backup of natural gas furnaces for residential home heating while transitioning to the future 100% use of heat pumps run on a reliable and efficient electricity grid powered by geothermal, wind and solar energy is suddenly being talked about and funded in the United States. Natural gas furnaces are what RAWSEP has emphasized in the past as an immediate alternative bridge to cleaner energy sources, at least in the frigid winters of the Midwest. Heat pumps that work at low temperatures are suddenly here, or suddenly attainable, as alternatives to residential wood burning. As a resident of Wisconsin, I am apprehensive of immediately relying 100% on heat pumps for home heating, at least until it is proven that these heat pumps can perform as promised, with reliability down to temperatures well below zero. But irrational fear of being left in the cold should not lead to rejecting the helping hand of these new heat pumps. Fear can make you cling to old ways, even when those old ways are as idiotic as residential wood burning. But the more likely reason for clinging to residential wood burning is the advertising of the wood burning industry, and the residual belief that wood burning is carbon neutral, a fallacy that has been pushed for only the last few decades, in order to line the coffers of the wood burning industry, and a fallacy that adversely affects the health of near neighbors of residential wood burners. The natural gas power grab of Russia, starting in 2022, had effects unintended by President Putin of Russia. The rest of the world has mobilized to make a sharp turn away from natural gas, and the world has mobilized to turn to the methods of geothermal, wind and solar that we have known for so long are the least polluting ways of home heating. Along with that, developing an electricity grid that can move this power to every household is part of that sharp turn away from natural gas and all the even more polluting fossil fuels such as coal, and also, away from the most polluting fuel, wood, away from residential wood burning for home heat. For the 18 years of Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, natural gas has been the go-to when discussing the bridge to cleaner energy. Among the fossil fuels, natural gas is the cleanest for home heating. Residential wood burning produces 450 times the particulates as natural gas furnaces. Residential wood burning produces slightly more particulates than coal burning. Coal burning replaced wood burning because it was cleaner than wood burning. In that way, there was some progress toward cleaner air, hundreds of years ago, from using coal burning instead of wood burning. Again, as a resident of Wisconsin, I would like proof that the new generation of heat pumps can go the distance during the coldest winters Wisconsin can produce. I am amazed that this technology has developed to the point where the assertion can be made that it can. The future looks so much brighter with this promised helping hand out of the darkness of the pollution of residential wood burning. 2. Shoveling snow while breathing clean air is invigorating. I was enlisted to shovel the 6 inches of heavy snow that fell in my area of Wisconsin this week. This rare exercise has energized me, like powerlifting requiring upper body strength, in the sunshine. I feel the oxygen surging through my body in the hours afterward, and wonder why I only do this sort of thing when required. It helped that my neighbor who burns wood had left the neighborhood briefly and was not burning wood at the time. It would have been agonizing to need to breathe clean air and only breathe in smoke when I needed to perform the task of shoveling out. 3. RAWSE presidents would like to solicit recipes for foods cooked without wood burning, such as reimagining recipes which used wood burning in the past, which can be made without wood burning. United States. Razep view: the motivation of turning to carbon capture in this New York apartment building is to evade electrification. The apartment building owner is also worried about electrification working at the coldest temperatures of New York City in the winter. The owner views continuing using natural gas for heat as a bridge to the cleaner energy technologies of electrification sourced by wind and solar. Whether carbon capture and sealing the carbon dioxide in concrete blocks works in reducing the apartment building's carbon footprint has not been proven to New York City authorities yet. The Department of Buildings, which enforces the law, said it is reviewing CarbonQuest's system, but has a number of questions, such as how to verify the emission reductions claimed by the apartment building owners. Until we know more about how this innovative technology is actually performing, and specifically, how and if the carbon is, in fact, being permanently sequestered, we cannot determine whether it is consistent with the intent of the law, said a spokesman for the Department of Buildings. Razep notes that many of the commenters at the last meeting of the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council, WHEJAC, spoke against the practice of government funding for carbon capture, utilization, and storage, CCUS, which advocates for industrial capture of carbon only after it is created by fossil fuel or wood burning. The commenters did not think CCUS worked, and the commenters at the WEJAC meeting thought CCUS was greenwashing. The commenters against CCUS thought that it was efficient and cost-effective to stop PM 2.5 pollution at inception, stop fossil fuel or wood burning, rather than undertake expensive, complicated, and ultimately futile, but government-subsidized, and therefore lucrative to fuel-burning industries, carbon capture. New York City, carbon capture from city buildings. Razep view: carbon capture on a residential scale has the same problems of cost and inefficiency as CCUS on an industrial scale, and in Razep's view is greenwashing useful only because it is lucrative to industry as well as to an apartment owner in New York City. It is more cost-effective and efficient to stop fossil fuel and wood burning at their sources, rather than have to deal with the residue pollution of that burning. Electrification of New York City can't come soon enough. Excerpt edited by Razep for brevity and clarity. A huge city polluter? Buildings. Here's a surprising fix: carbon capture in concrete blocks. Carbon capture might not work for all buildings, but some are giving it a try. Photo of the apartment building in Manhattan. In New York City, boilers in the basements of thousands of apartment buildings kick on, burning natural gas or oil to provide heat for the people upstairs. Carbon dioxide from these boilers wafts up chimneys and into the air, one of the city's biggest sources of global warming emissions. But there is one exception. At a 30-story apartment tower in Manhattan, the carbon dioxide from its two giant gas boilers is captured, cooled to a liquid, and then trucked to a concrete factory in Brooklyn. There, the carbon is mixed with cement and sealed into concrete blocks, where it can't heat the atmosphere. This is the first carbon capture system on a building that we're aware of anywhere in the world, said the CEO of CarbonQuest, the company behind the system. Photo of a boiler releasing carbon dioxide. The building's owner didn't install the carbon capture technology purely out of concern for the planet. A sweeping new climate law in New York City aims to cut greenhouse gas emissions from large buildings 40% by 2030 and 80% by 2050. Starting next year, buildings that exceed emissions limits will face steadily escalating fines. The law was designed to propel buildings to swap gas and oil for cleaner electric heating. Photo of a complicated process involving lots of pipes. Carbon dioxide is captured, liquefied, and stored.